Hi, I'm Gavin,
And I'm Dave.
and you're on the fringe.
Come along with us for a ride on a podcast where we talk about an area or a thing going on in the world that needs more attention, just like you do. Let's go.
On the fringe. Here we go.
Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to On the Fringe. This is Dave. I'm here with Gavin. Gavin, are you there?
Howdy.
Can you hear me?
Howdy.
We got Gavin, everybody. You got me, and we've got a new episode for you today. So, quick review about last week. We talked about AI. We talked about the TV show Gold Rush. And basically, there's a ton of fake AI generated clips and photos all over the internet. There's a video, or I should say, several videos on YouTube that are getting tons of views that are primarily going after just duping people, trying to make money, and stirring the pot. A lot of them have come off. There have actually been more that have come up, though, in the last couple of days. And we're going to be talking more about deepfakes today. And these deepfakes have been used very recently in India. Last year, they were used during the Indian election cycle, and they've been used in the last month and a half, as tensions have gone up between India and Pakistan.
Yeah,
And
and that, of course, has been a huge, huge story in a lot of the world. The first time in a long time that two nuclear powers have been in open conflict. People were concerned. There was a 4-day conflict between the 7th and the 10th of May that's ended with a ceasefire that was brokered by the U.S. Um, they're currently in a state of ceasefire. They're not firing at each other. But what has not abated since the conflict is the massive flow of disinformation on both sides of the border, targeting pretty much every community imaginable. And boy, people are really buying into it. So part of the issue is, and Dave, we'll talk about this in more detail, but uh, the sheer speed at which this content is being generated and shared out has made it difficult for people to keep a handle on it. And particularly in the sort of jingoistic atmosphere that surrounds any conflict, it becomes difficult for people to really filter things out. So the obvious example that we're going to go to, Ahmad Sharif Chowdhury, who's a Pakistani general, a video was shared with him claiming that the Pakistani Air Force had lost two JF-17s, fighter jets. So
yeah,
that came out, and about four, I'm not going to name them right now, but about four Indian news groups, very large media groups actually, immediately shared this press out, did not verify, didn't think to verify it. And it was shared over 700,000 times on Twitter.
yeah. And it's going through. I mean, this is something that India, in my opinion, would look at and go, this is good. We're going to share this with everybody. So they take this information, they share it out, and there's been very little fact checking behind the actual video. Well, a lot of this
Yeah.
video is based off of a former video, and basically somebody doctored the video to where he was saying that, oh, Pakistan lost these jets, but they took a former video that he had used from the year before when he was actually speaking. So basically, they're taking content that has already been made, they're repurposing it, and then they're sending it out to people.
And people are not looking at this critically. There's other videos being shared out there from the Pakistani side. where they're claiming they've shot planes down and they have the video clip to prove it, and it's a video of a different jet and it's not Pakistani, it's from India.
Hmm.
Um, so this is, it's happening. I don't think it's stopped with the conflict. I think it's continuing to happen. Again, because things seem to be moving so quickly, there was not a lot of fact checking. Even now, with these videos, are still coming out, and people are still going, wait, well, that's not, he didn't actually say that. You didn't verify that. None of the groups that shared that have issued a statement of retraction. All they did was just kill kill the page. So if you had a link to that, it's not there anymore. But there was no retraction. There was no oops, we made a mistake. There was just we really do not want to talk about this.
Hmm.
And for somewhat obvious reasons, because a lot of people, and again, I think this is across the region, a lot of people have come out of this looking pretty silly.
Yeah, and I mean, you have populaces in both countries. India is the world's most populous country. Pakistan is what, seventh?
Yeah.
They're huge in terms of the amount of people. So these are going to get shared and they're going to spread like wildfire on social media. And if your goal is to stir up the pot in either country, if you can make one of these videos that's convincing, and the video is actually pretty good because I was looking through it and I was going, okay, they're using the same clip, it's the same shot, it's exactly the same audience, it's the same length, he's got the same tone of voice. So there are a lot of things within this clip of General Chaudhry that are going, this is very believable. But if you actually listen to it, you take a step back and you listen to it and you go, there's something weird about this. So his voice and his pronunciation and the actual pitch of what he's saying is a little bit different. And then if you pick up and you watch the videos side by side, the video quality isn't as crisp. It looks like it's something like 780, and the other one would be like maybe 1080. So you can see some grainy
Mhm.
details. And then
Yeah.
also the accent sounds a little bit more robotic and it sounds a little bit more unnatural. But it's still, if you have a phone and you're watching it on like 3G or 4G
You're not going to
internet,
notice.
it's not going to make a big difference. And that's probably what most of these audiences are using anyway to watch this content. They're using their phone and they're spreading it through social media. So it doesn't have to be perfect and it's doing the job. And it's very dangerous because ultimately, if you don't have any sort of control over what's actually going on, and if you're reporting stuff that you can't fact check, even if you want to be
Mhm.
first, you're going to destroy your credibility if you're throwing stuff out there that can't be verified and you're basically turning yourself into a content mill rather than a news agency.
Well, I think that Rubicon may have been passed already for a lot of people, but point taken. And I think you brought up a point that we talked about last week that's really important in all of this. You were able to sit down, watch it, and go, okay, that's weird. That's strange. These things pop out. That doesn't quite make sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's not designed for you. It's not designed for someone to sit down and look at it. It's designed for someone sharing it on their phone. They're going to look at it maybe 30 seconds. They're definitely not going to watch the whole clip. They're going to be watching it on 3G, 4G data. Just this is not an issue because even if half those people look at it and go, hey, there's something off about this, which is unlikely because I imagine most of the people who shared that video aren't in the habit of watching Pakistani generals on TV. It's a different
Yeah.
story. Um,
Or Indian fighter jets crash in Pakistan.
yeah, I don't think, these are not everyday occurrences around here. They're going to go, yeah, yeah, wow, we took down two planes. It's awesome. And by the time they realize it's not the case, it's too late and they go, oh, well, it's probably true. it looked real.
Hmm.
And the issue is we have still not gotten past the it looks real phase of this thing. And it turns out that the it looks real threshold for most people is not very high. And again, if your interest is in stirring the pot, it does not need to be. And this is right now in this country and definitely in the neighboring country as well, major security concern. People are starting to realize potentially a bit of a problem.
Yeah. And I mean, this goes on too. We've talked in the past about AI and scamming, and
Yep.
all of this ties into the same thing where for most people, it just needs to be good enough, somewhat believable. And the only defense that you have is you have to take a step back and think critically and go, okay, why is this happening? Who is actually calling me? And how can I know this is actually a real call or real information? And most people
100%.
don't have the defenses to be able to sit back and go, okay, I can take a step back first. And it's a crisis situation generally when I mean you look at these two situations in India and Pakistan, it's a crisis. And
Hmm.
it's very, very hard to take a step back and think, okay, what do we actually do to figure out the right next step?
Yep. Yep. That's a bit of a doozy right there.
Yeah.
Uh and that's definitely the challenge. That's the challenge for countries going forward. On that cheery note, thank you for listening. Please like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate all the feedback. Please listen. Please tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your dogs, neighbors, cousins, babysitter. Please tell everyone. We're on the fringe. Thanks for listening.
And we're not AI generated. Catch y'all later.